Isaiah 60, 1 and 2. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord shines over you. For look, darkness covers the earth, and total darkness the peoples. But the Lord will shine over you, and his glory will appear over you. One of my favorite Christmas songs is O Holy Night. In that song, there is a line that says, "Long lay the world in sin and error pining." That is the scene of Isaiah 60. That is the scene of Isaiah. That the people of God have sinned against God and are cut off and in darkness apart from God. And yet the God of all creation redeems them.
Skies, tasting grace that will change their lives.
The God of all creation shines brilliantly with his light over them. And he brings them back home, out of darkness and into his light. That is the message of Christmas. But, realistically, I think you could ask the question during Christmas time, what about God? God is easily lost in the celebration of Christmas. Whether we get caught up in gift shopping, tree decorating, maybe we walk down our streets looking at the different Christmas lights, maybe we're at Starbucks drinking an eggnog latte, maybe we are enjoying a Christmas break vacation, or maybe it's the day, December 25th, when we run downstairs and we open the gifts that are underneath the tree. God can easily be pushed to the side or even completely out of the picture because of these things. And if we're honest, we don't have to give a good Christian answer for this. It's simply the season that we can celebrate these things. We can rejoice in the fact that we have a Christmas break. We can rejoice in the beautiful decorations that are around us. We can easily celebrate those things, and we should, because they are good. But God can get pushed to the side very easily. So the question then is, as Christians, what should we do during this time? Should we take up our whistles and cry foul, throw penalty markers onto the field, and guilt people into remembering God, to shame them into thinking that they have lost the true reason for the season? Or should we as Christians instead embrace the message of Christmas, and instead of guilting and shaming and whistleblowing during this time, choose to redeem it? Choose to take the time that the Lord has given us, this incredible season that works different wonders in different people. Should we redeem that time and share the good news of Christ? Because truly, Christmas is a celebration. It is a celebration of redemption. Why is it a celebration of redemption? Because that is the only celebration that truly lasts. Think about it. Once January rolls around, your Christmas tree will be out next to the garbage can. Your Christmas lights, your Christmas decorations will be all packaged up, and they will sit in your garage for the next 11 months. Your Christmas music will no longer be on rotation with your iPod. Think about the Christmas spirit. Like I said, people, for whatever reason, they get into Christmas. And people that are angry people that appear to have no love in them whatsoever, for whatever reason, they come out of this shell during the time of Christmas. And they become people of loving, of joyfulness. It's crazy. But does this last past Christmas? Does this last into January and into February and so on? Or is this something that comes out once a year? The vacations that we go on, those are going to come to an end. School is going to start back up. The Christmas gifts that you received will eventually get worn out, old, or boring. Those things are all great things to celebrate during Christmas time, but the unfortunate part is they're all things that fade away really quick. And if we're going to celebrate something during Christmas, shouldn't we celebrate something that lasts? And that is the message of redemption. Matthew 1:21 says this, "She, Mary, will give birth to a son, and you are to name him Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins." Christmas time is a valuable time to reflect on the mission of Jesus, the forgiveness of sins, what as Christians we call redemption. That we, those sinners, have been brought into the presence of God, not by our own good works, but by the fact that Jesus has come into this world to forgive people of their sins. During this time, we celebrate the birth of Jesus. We celebrate the birth of the Son.
Remember him well, like I was there that night.
And why do we celebrate? Because it's the Son's mission of forgiveness that should cause us to rejoice. It's the Isaiah 60 passage all over again. The Lord is shining His light on us through the birth of Jesus, showing us that we no longer have to stay in darkness, but that the path out of darkness has come through the light that is Jesus, that we might be forgiven, that we might be redeemed and made right with God. This is a time not to reflect on how good we are in order to get more presents and not coal, but instead to reflect on how great God is for saving His creation from the penalty of sin, which is death. If we celebrate Christmas, and the center of that celebration is the birth of the Son, is the birth of Jesus, then we will have a lasting celebration. Unlike decorations or Christmas spirit or vacations and presents, this gift from Yahweh does not end or get old. It is something we should celebrate, and we can celebrate year-round. And not just year-round, but something that we can celebrate for all eternity with God. This is the gospel. Our need to be forgiven of the things we have done in life that are against God, and how God has made a way possible for us to be forgiven of those things through the birth of the Son, the birth of Jesus. So how then can we redeem this time of the year? How can we take all of the good things of Christmas tree decorations and eggnog lattes and hanging out with friends and not worrying about school and receiving presents? How can we redeem all of that? Well, we can show all of that to be an outflowing from the center of Christmas. That those things are good and great because at the center of Christmas is the message of salvation. That we are able to focus and enjoy those things because we are forgiven people. Not worrying about how we can get to God, but understanding that we get to God because of the birth of Jesus. As Christians, we then need to give this message away. How can you use this time that you have, these 25 days? Use it to share the gospel. Use it to share with other people about the lasting importance of forgiveness. That while all of the great things that come out during Christmas time are great, they will be packed up and forgotten very soon. But the message of salvation is something that you can't get rid of really quickly. It's something that lasts for you for your whole life here and for all of eternity. We should also be reminded not just to give this message away, but to live this message. See, we have redemption, the forgiveness of our sins, because of the life that Jesus lived. Why was He able to go to the cross and pay for all of our sins and yell at the end of His life, "It is finished"? Because of the life that He lived. And how does this life start? In a manger in Bethlehem. He is born and lives His life in perfect obedience as the Son, in order to perfectly forgive us of our sins. So we too as Christians have a call in our lives to live in obedience to God, to live the way that Jesus did, to rejoice in the life that Jesus lived, because it is the life that brings forgiveness. It is the life that actually gives life, something that's lasting, something that won't perish. As we wrap up and we think about this message of Christmas, use the time that you have. Use the incredible gift that is Christmas to share the lasting message of Christmas with those around you. Enter into conversations with those around you. they are so much enthralled with Christmas, as they should be, because it is truly a great time of the year, and use it to share with them the lasting message of the gospel that Jesus saves. And live in obedience to that. Never forgetting the cost that was paid for you. Never forgetting the life that Jesus lived in order that you and I might be forgiven. And that should spur us on, that should push us to live as obedient followers of Christ. Not desiring ourselves, but desiring the life that God would have for us. To let His will be done and not ours.